and empower you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is: Are men still the providers? Redefining gender roles in modern relationships. We are live on Intellectual Radio, which is heard from the Drive FI with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I discussed hot topics. We talked about Beyonce mother Tina Knowles, who reported she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And we talked about other celebrities who are jumping on board when it comes to mental illness and sharing their journeys while bringing about awareness. You can head over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed today. The quote of the day is: Being a provider is not just about bringing home a paycheck, it's about showing up with strength, love, and consistency in every aspect of a man's life. We have one announcement today. Warriors Talk will be having our ninth annual Survivor Celebration of Reflection Gala taking place on Saturday, October 18th at the Crystal Sky Banquet Hall. Ticket will be going on sale soon. Make sure that you are ready. Get your outfits ready so you can dress to impress. We are going to celebrate survivors in a big way. Again, save the date for October 18th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, like the show, share the show, and invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. We are so grateful for our sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson. And we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady ReShell.
What's up?
Whew. Cracking this mic again. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Seems like Relationship Monday comes so fast.
But it's definitely advice that we need to get out to the people.
Absolutely.
They can take it for what it's worth, but good or bad, we do give our experiences and something for them to live and go by.
Yes. Now, this is a controversial topic. Are men still the providers? And we're going to talk about gender roles and modern relationships. And this conversation should spark some type of thought-provoking challenges on tradition. And some people may be uncomfortable with it because sometimes we could be stuck in our old ways and not wanting to move forward. And on the other hand, you may have people to be like, I never experienced that, so that's not my role. So I just want to dive into it. First up, we have the traditional role of the provider. What does the traditional role of a provider looks like? When you think about Rizal, a traditional provider, what is something that comes to mind?
First thing that come to mind is he paid I would probably say the mortgage. He took care of most of the bills.
Yeah, I would say my dad. He was a traditional man where my mom stayed at home and she didn't have to work. He took care of all the bills. So, absolutely. When I think about a traditional provider, I think about my dad in that generation. So a financial supporter would be first on the list, which would be the man who earns the money, brings the money to the household. He covers all the expenses, the food, the education, the clothes for the children, while the woman stays at home. So the first role in that traditional setting would be a financial supporter.
Can agree with that.
I think another role we think about when it comes to traditional providers would be a protector of the family, somebody who is going to protect and ensure the safety of the household, both physically and mentally.
I also think, yeah, protection. Him being head of household, leading the way, setting rules and how things are going to play out. So if I could see that as like a traditional role as a provider.
What about the somebody who always have the final say? They make the majority of the decisions in the family when it comes to finances, discipline, long term planning would be another traditional.
I don't think I experienced that. My parents experienced that. And my father, they was old school. They was, born way back yonder, and I never seen them. My father made the money, but my mother, and I know we're going to get into it, but she more so, I guess he brought the money home and she divvied it up however she need and put it where it need to go. So that right there, that teamwork, that
Absolutely.
discipline. I was the only child. I was a good child. Look how it turned out. You see this face?
I will say in my household, my mom was the one who did the majority of the whippings. I only remember receiving a whipping from my dad one time, and that's all it took. One time, I remember my mom and my dad went out, and my brothers and sisters stayed home. My oldest sister was, I guess, babysitting us, and we ended up. It was seven of us. We ended up getting into a fight. So all seven of us was just fighting and just like tearing the house up. We were fighting, and until they came home, we was. My dad came in and he just got the belt and he just started oldest on down. Just
Everybody just line up.
everybody just got a whooping. And I just remember when it got to me, I just fell backwards. Like as soon as I saw the belt come up, I just like fell.
You faded. Look, y'all was in there on some rah-rah WWE type stuff. Now you come home, he came in trying to regulate.
If I just fall backwards, he won't hit me. And then he was still swinging, so I was like under the bed, like just get closest to the wall as I can. And he was just swinging under the bed. I was like, oh my gosh, it was horrible. That was the only time my dad ever whooped us. Like that was the worst. My mom, it was a constant thing. You did something, you knew you was gonna get it, but it took a lot
Yeah.
for my like, oh, y'all gonna get it. Like he was the one that was like, leave the kids alone. Like they didn't do nothing that bad that they deserve it. But that day, we tore that house up, and everybody got.
Well, it's like my mom, she was the disciplinary in the house. She used to make me go get my own switch from outside, call him Mr. Greeny, and would sit him up top on the refrigerator until I started getting smart and climbing up on the refrigerator, taking it so she couldn't get it. So in case I got in trouble, and then I would run to my room and hide underneath the cover. So she thinks she was doing something. She was just hitting the top of the cover, and I was just going, ow, ow, ow. Or I'll run and go lock myself in the bathroom. And she said, you got to come out sooner or later. But by that time, she was tired. She wasn't even trying to do nothing.
What about something and you would be out and they'd be like, you gonna get home, and then you like all nervous and stuff. Like, oh, I hope they forget get home, they gonna forget. And they just out having a good time, they laughing and stuff. You're like, oh, they forgot. Then you go home, you get comfortable in the bed, and then next thing you know, here she come turn on a light, like you about to get it. You like, oh my God.
No, it was good. The most, I think it was just one time. I got in trouble because she told me not to stay out late. And here I was, a fool in love. I think I was about 15 years old. I didn't, at that time, I wasn't getting beatings or anything. She was just like, nah, you ain't going nowhere for like a month. And now the girl lived across the street. We were supposed to go to Great Adventure like the next day. And we stayed out till about, it must have been like 2 o'clock in the morning, but I was only across the street. And we was just sitting on the porch. Like if you came to the window, you could see me. But she's like, oh, oh, you think you going somewhere today, tomorrow, which was the next day? Nah, I had to miss the whole Great Adventure thing, and I had worked hard to gather up some money so we can go and do all that. And yeah, she laid down the law, and I think that was probably about the last punch my room because by that time I was driving and going out and doing all kinds of. I was like my own man by then. After that, so I was ready to get my own plate. You ain't gonna tell me what to do because every parent, as long as you under my roof, you follow my rule. I think that is the one numero uno disciplinary tactic that they do.
Absolutely. Although as I got older, my mom she didn't really bother me once I got like past. I stayed in my parents' house until I was 27. Like all of my brothers and sisters left, and I was the last one. I was like, oh, this is comfortable for me. I can work, come home. They wasn't really asking me for money and stuff. I'm like, I was in school full time, so it's like they wasn't bothering me. I was working, but it took me until I was 27. I was like, okay, I gotta go. I've been in here too long. It's time for me to go. So yeah, they didn't bother. Hey, Lisa. Okay, I have another one. This one is the moral and spiritual leader. So this is they guide the family towards religion, moral teachings, and setting a tone for the family values and discipline.
Yeah. I think both my parents was grounded when it came to spirit, to going to church and, God and praying and all of that. Yeah, they both were kind of equal on that part, I must say.
I think that would be my mom, more a spiritual leader and the moral teachings. When it came to that, that would definitely be my mom.
Oh man, I used to hate going to church. I would go there and just try to stay awake. Oh my God. But I loved when first Sunday, Communion Sunday came around because I love drinking a little grape juice and the bread. Oh, but Lord, just trying to stay awake, I would just fidget. I'd keep asking for some candy or something. Like you go to church back then, you needed a whole survival pack just to stay woke.
They
It
didn't
was
have
crazy back then.
y'all didn't have children's church.
Mm-mm.
Well, they
Nope.
kept
Yeah,
open.
we stayed. Look, and then I had to go beforehand. I had to go to Sunday school. So now I'm in there extra early beforehand at Sunday school, and then got to go to the main church and then stay. Like, oh, why, Mama? Why? And then I got with a little click in there. Oh, that was the worst thing. That was the worst thing.
Wow, there was a reason for you to go. No.
No, no. You don't understand. That's how it all started. It was the preacher's son. You know how they say the preacher's son is the biggest devil in the church? Lord, that is so true. That is so true. It must have been about 4 of us. Let me tell you what happened.
What happened?
We used to go downstairs and rummage through the people's pockets to find their car keys. And while church was going on, we would take their car. Yes, we would take their car and go for a joyride and come back and park it in the same spot that it was parked in. And until one day, somebody parked in the spot.
Oh,
And I just act like mama. If I was just waiting for you, I moved over here. Like, look what I could do. Look what I could do. Man, I moved it, and that's how I got up. I mean, we was way down, like we a whole like 2 counties over, driving around,
wow.
getting through little small spaces, and one day the police had to get by, and they blew the horn and was like, if you ever seen Garfield and Odie, our eyes got so big, but they passed by because if they were asked for some identification, we was done. It was. I wouldn't even probably be even talking to you right now. I
Mm.
still would feel the sting of that whooping right now.
Y'all was really taking a chance. Wow.
Like I said, yeah, we was doing all kind of things.
That was bold. Whew. All right. My number 5, when it comes to the traditional role of a provider, is a person who teaches you hard work, a role model when it comes to demonstrating work ethics, responsibility, integrity, as an example as a child. And I would definitely say my father, who demonstrated like the work ethic because he worked outside of the home, although my mom was like the homemaker inside, so of course she did the work inside, but as far as like manual work outside, that would have been my dad. Like, he worked, I don't care what the weather was, because he drove a garbage truck, so he had to be out there when it was cold, snowy, hot, it didn't matter. He was out there. He never missed any days off work. So when it comes to work ethic, it would be him. My mom too, because when we came home from when we left for school, we had breakfast. When we came home, we had dinner. Like, she did everything pertaining to the house, and he did everything pertaining to outside of the house.
Okay. Like I said, both of my parents, they kept things up. I know my father would get up early. He would work every single day. Mom, she would go in at nights and take care of the house during the day. So it was an equal, kind of almost like the equal type of thing. My father, he would cook. He would do his thing. He would love making soup and stuff, or cooking on the grill, which that's probably where I get it from now because I love cooking on the grill. Um, but mom was she was a hard worker too. So I can't really take anything from her. I mean, they really, like I said, when it came to this marriage thing and holding it down, they definitely was a team doing it, and I really think back as I got older, and I think back about, how my father was, and, a lot of children, how they say they didn't have their father in their lives. And I was really lucky to have both my parents in my life, and the same for you. Um, but still, anybody can turn out how they want to turn out. You don't let the streets or people dictate like who you are. And I realized that also later on down the line, because I was trying to be something that I wasn't. I was like, man, I got both my parents. I don't live, or I can't relate to how these other kids who keep saying that's out here hustling. It's no need for me to do that. I got a job. I do X, Y, and Z. They love me, my family. So yes, let me just cut this out right now. So yeah, I learned some lessons as I got older, and then that's how it happens. Yes, Lisa.
Lisa's like, she don't want to be at church all day. She said she also got put out of church Bible class because she couldn't stop laughing.
How you get kicked out of Bible class,
What was she?
Lisa? What was you laughing at?
Oh, what was going on?
Mhm.
Number 2, when it comes to, are men still the provider? This is the rise of female breadwinners. So we know that more women are working outside of the home. A lot of them do out earn men. They're leading businesses while supporting the household as well. Some men may feel threatened. Other men may embrace it. And so my question is a man less of a man if his woman makes more money than him?
Not at all. Not at all. And don't let these people tell you otherwise or try to fool you into believing so. Not at all. If Remember, y'all are one. Y'all are a team. If she can get it and getting more of it than you are, perfect. Then you just adding more to the pot. Don't let nobody steer you wrong, steer you out right out of your marriage. Nope. If she getting it, fine. That's perfect because it's all going to the same place.
So how does this shift the effect of like respect, intimacy, and the balance of power at home? Because sometimes people will say, "Well, I'm making the money. Like I'm the one that's the breadwinner. I'm the one that's in control. I make the decisions." And sometimes they feel like they don't have respect. It's not in all cases. They don't have respect for that man because he's not making as much, and they're turned off. And I don't. I think for some it may not happen right away. It may happen like maybe in the middle if they lose their job or something, or they just don't want to work. Then I think those things may come into play.
Don't let your ego get talk you out of your relationship or end up in divorce court. You need to tone it down. There's a reason why you two are together, and who knows? We don't know if that person came in making more money than he did, or they was with that person and then started making more. But either way, that man is still head of household. He's still the man of the house.
Lisa said, no, he's not less of a man. It's better to do things together.
All right, thank you. Me and Lisa agreeing tonight.
It's better to do things together. I think for some women, they may feel that way, though. I've talked to women that feel that way because I felt that way at one point. It's like, oh God, you're not working, you're not bringing in what you should do. Like you're not doing those things that a provider does. So you do the respect thing. You do start to lose respect, and you like the intimacy comes along with that, and it's like I don't have, I can't be intimate with someone who's not doing those things because they play a role. It
Well,
does play. I've been there.
what if he's having like a rough spot where he's like trying to find himself or he's trying to make his next move? Because if we're married or we're in a relationship, if I got it, I'm going to hold it down until you get to where I am. And if you got, and vice versa of what I just said, that's how it's supposed to be. It may take a minute, but you should never feel like he's just, well, I pray because sometimes it do happen. There's a percentage in there that he is, trying to get himself back to where he was to actually be further than what he was to help you guys move forward even better off than where you was from the start. So maybe he's just trying to find the direction that he needs to go in. Maybe he's trying to find his passion that he loves because he's at a job that he can't be at because it is just too challenging for him, whether it's the people, the boss. Maybe he need to, it's a lot that goes in tail with that. So if she's holding it down, hold it down until he gets there. Because I'm quite sure when he get on his feet, he's going to do the same for you. He's going to get back to holding it down. And y'all can hold it down together.
Baby, I'm gonna need you to do that on your own time, okay? Like if you're not ready, you're not ready. I'm talking about somebody who was not ready from the beginning. You come in the door now and we get together and you struggling the whole time. Not someone who was doing it and then all of a sudden maybe they had an injury or something happened to where they lost their job. Not those type of people. This is somebody who was struggling and was continued to struggle, and it's like, okay, let me take a step back so that you can get yourself together before you try to be one with somebody else.
Hmm.
So not, oh, like Lisa was saying, you between jobs. No, life does happen, and people may lose their jobs, and they're looking for a job. Yeah, and you should have that person. But I'm with Lisa. I can't deal with the excuses. It's the excuses and the babies are still hungry. The rent is still not getting paid.
Look, I get it. I understand about the excuses, but you also have to blame. You can't blame him. You got to blame you because you knew what you was getting yourself into when he told you, I ain't got no job. And he's always asking you to pay. You know what you was getting into beforehand. So if you still chose to go through and stick it out with this man from the beginning when he wasn't offering anything or didn't have even a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, that's your fault.
No, sometimes they do be working. Sometimes they work and then y'all get together and then they not working. Sometimes they do be working and they're
Wait a minute.
taking, yeah.
Wait a
Some,
minute. Say, wait a minute. They be working.
sometimes they do have a job and
Uh-huh.
and then they lose their job or they quit their job because hey, your paycheck can take care of all the bills. They know that. So it's like, let me ride off this for a while. Oh, she got. And then when you decide that, no, I don't have it anymore and I'm tired of having it. So I'm going to take a step back. You try to give people the benefit of the doubt to say, okay, let me just get them a little bit to see, let them work. No. I mean, it comes a point in your life to where you like, you need to figure this out on your own. I'm not going to continue to hold your hand through this.
Cool. This is why the dating pool is the way that it is now.
I say if you're not ready to date, then don't date. If you're not working, if you don't have a job, then you should not be dating. You should be trying to get yourself together before you date because dating costs money. It's not cheap. And depending on what type of dream you selling that other person, they're gonna expect you to deliver on whatever it is that you're selling on. So I would say and more importantly, get yourself together than to try to date somebody.
Well, you do have some women that's, hey, baby, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of everything. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Just take care of me. That's it.
Mm. Tamiko said that's a great question. Are men still providers in their families? A lot of times, Tamiko, a lot of times I think this different generation is not. A lot of them are like, no, that I'm not doing that. You do your thing, I do my thing. If you ain't got it, then I don't know what to tell you. I feel like maybe the boomers are more providers than anything versus the generations that came after them. That
What we call them the millennials.
I feel no, the millennials is Generation X. I think it's the boomers, then the millennials. I feel like the boomers were the last of the providers when it comes to that, the traditional providers. Other than that, no, they're not trying to do that. They- and
I
and I
think anything after 19, I think anything before 2000, get it. And I think anything after that, it's like, wow,
why we
you got to just put your hands on you for like, what happened? Where did we go wrong? What was,
and granted that things do evolve, right? So things evolve and we can't just stay in one place. So we know things are more expensive and everything. But I did hear somebody say that when the boomers, when they went out and worked, whatever job they had, that wife operated within that man's salary, right? So if he brought home 50,000, then she learned how to operate within that 50,000, whether she was making clothes, she was at home growing stuff or whatever, but she made it work within his budget so that they would be able to manage versus, oh, I want to get this Gucci purse, I got to get my hair and my nails done every week. No, you at home doing your own nails or you buying some nails that you can, the press on ones, like you doing that stuff yourself because it's not in the budget for you to be doing all of those things. So that woman able to work within that man's budget so that they was able to make it and have just one person working. But I
But
feel
also,
like
if everything was more affordable, where you can have one person, working. Shoot, look, you got to take out a loan just to buy eggs nowadays.
just don't eat eggs. They're gross. That's just my choice. Just stay gross. Don't eat that. Don't eat it. Tamiko said it's a generational issue, right? It is. I really feel like it's a generational issue because that woman was able to, whatever that salary was of that man, able to
Mhm.
make it
She
in that
was.
salary. But I feel like Rizal, because a lot of us are women are out working, right? On that, we're working, we have education, and so we're able to get these things for ourselves before we connect with a partner. So and when we get with this partner, we're used to having these things. And then it's like, okay, now I get with you and you want to operate on your salary and you want me to not have what? Like, no, that's not gonna work. I need to be able to have these things. So I think that plays a role into it.
I actually like what you said about it. Do could kind of put things in perspective with a wife budgeting according to what was coming in, and that is pretty much correct, because as I think back, I think my mother did that. But again, why would you not want more? We're good right now, but why can't we be great? Why can't we just go forward and have both of us, we operate on that, but then I go to work, and what I bring in, we put that to the side and we save, because as they say, rainy days will come. It will happen. You don't know what you're going to run into. The furnace, the car, anything at this point. Taxes, eggs.
True. Lisa said, you are correct. There are women willing to take care of their mate. I believe it because they don't feel they can do better. Ooh.
Well, Lisa, if they haven't seen better,
Lisa
they're
said,
not going to want to do better. You're correct. You put people in a box with 9 millionaires. I can guarantee you will be the 10th. It's the same scenario with if you haven't seen better, you're not going to do better. But once you know better, you do better.
Lisa said, I believe it's because they don't feel they can do better. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Lisa, close your ears. She about to get you.
Wow. I think as women, we settle a lot. We settle a lot. And I think we settle because a lot of times we feel like we can change, upgrade this man to make them better, to make them fit. And so, and a lot of times as women, we're willing to work with a person. Like we're willing to work with your shortcomings. So a lot of times we will settle. We will settle because we're willing to put in the work. But that's heavy. That's
Mm.
heavy. Oh God. How many of y'all out there settling right now? How many of y'all out there settling right now? Or have at one point settled and like, oh, I'm gonna stay. I've done it. And then I woke up, and once I woke up, it wasn't nothing that man could tell me. I was out of there. I was mentally, I was up. Physically, I'm like, okay, let me gather myself. And then I was gone. Wasn't nothing that person could tell me after that. Tamiko said, I agree. Put your earnings together and one of you save for a rainy day. Ahead. Great thoughts. Okay, why can I read that? You save for many rainy days ahead. Great thoughts on the subject matter. So, how many people can actually do that, though, Tamiko? When we think about it, you have two people working. How hard is it to put that one salary to the side and say, we're not going to touch this? We're just going to live off of this salary, even half of it. We're going to put half of your salary in the bank and we're going to live off the rest. I think a lot of times because we competing with the Joneses, we're not able to do that. But it would be great so that you can take nice vacations, so you can get some rental property, so you can have that summer home, so you can send your kids to college and they don't have to be in debt. We're so
Yeah.
big against each other, and we forget that we're a team. We're one. So if you're bringing in money, it's going to benefit the both of us. If you're spending more money than we're bringing in, it's going to affect the both of us. I think sometimes we forget that we work as a team. It's not me, it's us.
Well, I think one thing, if you see Keisha got the Louis purse now, and as me growing up, times that I saw it was Coach, Dunian Burke, Liz Taylor. Those are the top brand names, back then. But as time, went on, it changed. And I understand it's going to change. There's always going to be something more, something better, or, something coming out. But like you said, we try to keep up with the latest fashion. We listen to it in the music. We watch it in videos. We see it on TV. And it's like, oh, we got to get it. So that savings now is going in, as like you said, trying to keep up with the Joneses, or just trying to keep up with the times. A lot of remodeling. We're not thinking about, oh, let me buy a second property and I can rent that out. And we're not thinking that way. We're thinking for the now moment. We're not thinking for those rainy days anymore.
Absolutely true. Wanda B says some women feel if you expect them to work as well, you no longer get full provider status. Wow. Women then felt they are. Women then felt we are not going to work within the budget if they are providing as well. So if they providing money, they're like, why we got to work within the budget when I'm contributing as well? We got money. So they feel they deserve things because they are contributing as well. So
because Wanda B, it sounds like if now that you making money, you bringing money into the house, you can go ahead and be like, well, I'm working, so I can go ahead and get that Louis Vuitton purse because it's with my money. Flag on the play. You are definitely out of bounds on that. I get it. I understand it. But you ain't part of the team no more now. You drifting off to the side.
The key word you said was team. So I'm for one agree with you no longer have full provider status. If my salary is contributing to paying these bills, right? If you can't do this every single month without my money, then you don't have provider status. Guess what? I'm the provider too. You the provider, and I'm the provider. You don't get full provider status in the household.
Why does it sound like a court case and like I went for full custody and we had to split it down the middle? What is going on here?
The head, right? The woman is we to help me. We just to help. He didn't say you help 50-50, or he would have said y'all partners. He said help the man. You are to help him. But
okay,
it's like instead of just helping, being able to be in our femininity, our feminine role. Like we can't even be feminine because we're having to operate in our masculinity, working, then coming home, trying to be feminine, cleaning, taking care of the kids. Then now you want to touch me. And like, really? It's a lot. So you don't
think you don't think it's a lot for that man, for you, when he's trying to do those things, when he needs to relax because he went out there and he worked just as hard also. And
maybe. If
He
you
come home to the kid. He come home to the kids too, and I'm quite sure she said, "Get your kids," or whatever the case is, and y'all both trying to figure out what you're going to eat, what type of meal for the
let me
night, or whatever the case. Come on,
so
go ahead.
so I'm gonna let you get it out because I don't want to overtalk you. I want you to get out what you have to
Oh,
say.
we don't have that problem. We good.
So if the man is a true provider, which means if he's providing and he's paying the bills in the house, and that woman she's a stay-at-home person, stay-at-home mom, then when that man gets home, the way that it should be, and I know some women probably do, if they know that man is paying all these bills, you're not gonna be, oh, as soon as they hit the door, the kids running, jumping, unless it's in a happy way and not in a way like, get your kids, I'm about to go. No. All right, get daddy 30 minutes so he can decompress his day. Y'all don't touch him. Don't say nothing to him. Let him do what he has to do. And you have everything in order because you have the time to do those things. You have the time to care for yourself, to pamper yourself, to do those things in the household, to make sure the kids are taken care of before he hits the door. You have time to do those things. Now I'm in traffic. I'm rushing home, trying to hurry up and get home before you. I got to stop at the store and get some stuff. Now I got to go. The kids needs this. I get home. Ninja. No. No, Ninja. I'm not. No. So I can't operate. I can't give you my full attention like I would want to, like I was created to, because I'm operating in my masculinity role outside of the house. And granted, right now, a lot of people can't afford it. You need, because of the way we're set up to want things, material things, we have to have, I'm gonna say we want to have two people working, two incomes coming in so that we can have these things that we want, right? You don't have to. Those are things that you want. It's not a need. Those are things that you want. Can you operate off a $50,000 salary with a household? Yes, you can. You have to work within your means, right? The rent is paid. We got food. Everybody's healthy. We got clean clothes.
So, how can you work within your means? Okay, let's start with the rent. First off, if you're trying to rent a place, they want you to make 3 times the rent. That right there is about $6,000, and I'm just basing it if the apartment is, if you get at least a 3, it's at least $2,000. So right there, you got to be making at least $75,000 just to be able to rent a place, not even own. So 75,000 a year. So you're talking one person being able to show that. So $50,000 don't even work for people anymore, and this is why we men and whoever, like, we need help. This is
It,
why we need to team up so we can conquer these things. And that's
that's
just the rent.
that's the thing. You said the magic word. We need
Team.
help. We need help. No, you said we need help.
We
So
both need help.
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and people may get mad. And women are doing it without the help. We're doing it without the help. Before you step into the picture, we're already doing it. Somehow we managed to get our nails and hair done. The kids, the clothes are clean. They're in extracurricular activities. The women are doing it. They're doing it.
Some.
Uh,
There's
The,
a percentage, not all. Trust and believe. There are women out there that every week they are making their rounds, making their calls,
it's
and
extra.
getting whatever money that they can to help add to the money that they need, and they telling the same sad sob story to every single guy. I need help with this. I need help with that.
The majority of the women are doing it without that additional help. They're already doing it. They're doing it. So when a man comes in and he's adding to that, that's in addition to what's happening. I'm already carrying this load. So if you decide that, oh, this load's too heavy for me, I don't want to carry this load, I'm going to go, then guess what? Our household would not be interrupted because I'm already carrying it. Now, am I supposed to carry it? No, I'm not built to carry it. God did not build our body to carry it. That's why a lot of women are sick. They're dealing with all these things because we're not built to carry it. The man is built to carry certain things. And because, again, we have to operate in our masculinity because some men need help.
Sometimes some men do need help.
And
It's like it's a lot put on. It's a lot these days to put on our that's being put on our shoulder
like
to be the
what?
provider, to come home and listen to women say what everything about what you're not doing,
Things. Mm-hmm.
and you
Really?
have to listen and go through that, and then you want certain things. So if women are doing it on their own and a man comes in the picture and he helps you advance and vice versa, because it can happen both ways, because that's how it should be. A man or a woman should help you advance to the next plateau. So you're not no longer doing it by your been doing it by yourself now, because y'all two have both escalated to a whole nother level that you were not on before. Since he came in that picture, you were just getting by. Now y'all doing it. You're comfortable, because if you're just getting by, you're not comfortable. You are busting your butt and you're mad at the world because you have to go through that, versus now the man is there or the woman is there or whoever, they're helping you. There's some type of ease and a little bit of comfortability now where you can sit back and be like, boom, my partner, he here or she here, they got it. They're here to take that load, that burden. I'm not going to burden them because we're doing the thing. Instead of a 2-bedroom, we now got a 3-bedroom. The kids is good. The food is on the table and the chickens is laying eggs. So we are good.
Two is better than one. But if I'm already carrying the load and then you come in, yeah, it makes the load a little heavier. I mean, a little lighter, but the load has already been carried. Do I get to rest? Do I get to sit back and be like, "Whoo, now that he's here, I don't have to do all that." No, because you're expecting me to still do exactly what I'm doing. You expect for the woman to still do exactly what she was doing, but you was doing it before I got here. You was getting your hair done before I got here. Why? Why? Because I'm here. That has to stop. She still doesn't get to operate in her femininity with you being there as the provider. Ooh, oh, Tamiko
She do.
said, watch your spending and budget well on what your earning can afford. I believe yes, your earnings can afford. Yes, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. She said that's key. Work as a team. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. A lot of we do, and it's hurting us. Lisa says we forfeit saying and raising a
Save.
generation. And saving, we forfeit saving and raising a generation of kids who think they deserve everything. Ooh, this is so true. They ask for, and the family is suffering.
That
They
we are.
didn't. I agree.
Because you want to give them everything that you didn't have, and we're spoiling them. And they act like we owe them something, and it's not true. So yes, we are raising a generation that's just, it's horrible. It's horrible. They
I think
think they deserve everything.
I think sometimes men get mad when women say she wants a man on her level, especially when it comes to financially. If I'm making $100,000 a year, I want a man making $100,000 a year so we can come together. They like, why? Why you got to settle for you? You don't need a man making that. You could get with a man making 50,000 a year. That man with a good job. Yeah, but I'm making 100,000. Why can't I have someone that's making exactly what I'm making. So when we do come together, guess what? Yeah, it's gonna be even better. My load may be even a little lighter. But they make women feel like, no, you shouldn't ask for that. You should settle for a man making half of what you're making because it's a man, because you have a man. Be happy that you have a man. Come on, Ninja. If I'm making it, if I'm on that already, then why can I ask for somebody or expect for somebody to be on that same level? Why do I have to be like, oh, well, let me just settle for him he working at McDonald's? It's never wrong with working at McDonald's. No, it's not. It's not. He's working. But if that's not what I want, and I want someone making equal to what I'm making, then why can't I have that? Stop telling women deserve it. Stop telling women that they should settle for the man making half that just to have a man because it's a man shortage. It's not a shortage of men. It's just a shortage of good men. It's just a shortage of good men doing the right thing.
You can't do that. Just remember, that's a preference. If that's what you want, see, one thing, you should always write down what you want. If that's what you want, God, I want a man that's making $100,000. I want a man that's 6 feet tall, whatever. Make sure that it's on your list and then don't settle. That is your preference of what you want in your man. Other women will say, hey, you know what? He making 50,000, but I can make this work. And we gonna make it and we gonna go ahead and do that. So whether you think that you should have somebody equal, that's your preference if you want to find somebody equal. They'll probably say good luck with that because it is hard out there to find people that's on the level of what you want them to be. Sometimes you might have to bend a little bit. You might have to give a little bit. But if that's what you want, you should always get what you want because you're never going to be happy when it comes down to it. I need light. It's getting dark.
All right.
Okay,
So
there we go.
wrapping up this show. I didn't even get to half of the points I have, but are men still the providers, Rizal? What words of wisdom do you have for the people?
I didn't even think of anything because we were so deep into this whole thing. But as I always say, I feel like Charlemagne with this. As Uncle Rizzy always say, stop trying to change the people because they are going to be who they are. Women try to change men thinking that they can do it, and men always hope that the woman will never change. And that's the truth.
My words of wisdom are in a world where roles are evolving, a man who provides emotionally, mentally, spiritually is just as valuable as a man who provides financially. So join me next Monday right here at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. Always thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal, aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.